Hi, this is Dwight Braswell, founder of Bunny to Bear, where we're helping you find the courage, confidence, and conviction to become who you're meant to be. Welcome to Motivational Monday. I'm excited today to continue the conversation about how to stay motivated. Last week, we talked about chug, 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 the little engine that could, and we used it to illustrate how can I get past the feeling of, I don't feel like it. And instead of just saying, what do I want in my life? And how am I going to get it? We really need to focus on that question, why do I want it? Why, when I say I don't feel like it, am I going to do it anyway so that I can get what I really want out of life? So again, I can become who I'm meant to be. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 key questions to ask yourself to really dig a little bit deeper into the why question. I call it my driving force. What is my driving force that's going to push me forward when I don't feel like going anymore? When I see darkness all around me and I don't see any light? When I've been pushing and pushing and pushing and giving everything I've got, but nothing's happening, what's going to keep me driving forward so that I can reach that final destination, so that I can get what I really want out of life? So today, walk with me as I go through 5 different questions to help you identify your driving force for your life. Question number 1 is very simple. It's kind of the overarching theme to this whole entire conversation. What is going to blank, blank, blank when I face blank? What is going to drive me forward, right? When I face barriers, when I face those speed bumps, what is going to drive me forward? Little quick story here. My first car was an '85 Camaro. Ooh! If you knew me back in high school, 12th grade, I moved from Germany. My dad was in the military. I moved back to the States, and my dad bought me an '85 Camaro. We called it Banana. We called it the Banana because it was long, it was yellow, it was disgusting. But what it loved to do was die right in the middle of the intersection. Every time, I don't know why, it just happened. I mean, I would be at the intersection, the scariest intersection ever, and I would go into it, and it would just die. I don't know how, I don't know why. But one time, I took my now wife. This is crazy, 13, 14 years ago, we were high school sweethearts. Anyway, out on a date, and her sister, 10 years younger, was with us in the back. I'm in my Banana, we're at the intersection, and the baby just dies. Chugga, 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 chugga. Uh-oh, stalled out in the middle, they're cracking up. And I'll tell you, my driving force was never stronger than that. What's going to drive me forward? I'll tell you, I prayed harder than I probably became a very religious man. I could have preached from the mountaintop at that moment. I mean, please God, please, please God, please. And I tell you, boom, it came back on. So what's going to drive you forward? What's that motivation? What's going to push you when you don't feel like going? When you chug, what's going to push you? Is it the person in the back who's laughing and cackling at you? No matter what it is, it's time to define it. Next one, let's look at this. Blank, do I want to go in this direction? This is the continuation from last week. Why do I want to go in this direction? Now, why is usually put into 3 buckets. First bucket is, it's usually your brand, right? My brand, my image, right? In real estate, we think of, why are you going to put your name, your face, your contact information on a bus bench? I mean, is it just that, hey, man, I kind of waiting for the bus? Man, I feel like buying a home. Let me call this guy. Absolutely not. Come on. It's branding. It's getting my face out there. Why am I doing it? The next one is financial. Are you trying to buy the house? Are you trying to get your family out of debt? Are you trying to, what is it that is driving you in this direction? I mean, is there a financial goal? Because it doesn't matter what you're into. If you're in sales, if you're a parent, it doesn't matter. If I don't have crystal clear goals of why I'm doing this. And when you say financial, We need a dollar amount every single month, if not week or day. How much do I need every day to reach my end goal? Is it a financial goal that you're going after? Or is it, let's say it's an achievement. So let's say it's a trip that I'm trying to go after. Why am I going after that trip? Well, hey man, I'll work for months. So at Trulia, we had a trip to Mexico, and people spent pretty much the whole year fighting, kicking, going after it, and they just pushed every day. They were making those dials. They were trying as hard as they could because they knew Mexico was waiting. They wanted to go on the trip. My sister, a real estate agent, hit platinum this year, and that was a major goal for her. That was an achievement, something that I'm looking at in the future that I'm moving closer and closer toward. Every day when she didn't feel like doing the appointments, when she didn't feel like doing a listing presentation, she didn't want to prospect or reach out to her goal, anything, the reason why she did it is because she knew she had to hit platinum. And did she? Absolutely. So why do I want to go in this direction? No matter what it is, let's answer that question. The next one is probably one of my favorites out there. What are my, this one's close to the heart, bare moments? This one's big. So I think of Cindy Crawford. Cindy Crawford, 16 years old. Her parents had been separated, and her dad was given a check every month, right, that he would give to his mom to support them for food, for clothes, for anything that they needed. Well, the dad sometimes wouldn't give the check to Cindy's mom. 16 years old, she saw that. Somebody else being able to dangle that, somebody else being able to control her mom, and she said, never again, ever. And that was a bare moment. At that moment, she made a very crystal clear decision. I will never count on anybody else for my financial, for my stability, for anything. And I tell you, she busted her tail. From that moment on, every single day, modeling, everything. Everything she's done was driven by that one moment. Oprah, I mean, she was basically said, you don't have a face, you don't have a voice, you do not belong on TV. You will never make it, goodbye. I'll tell you, when somebody says, no, you can't, it's almost like you want them to, because now you get to prove, oh, yes, I can. Michael Jordan, there are so many stories. What's your story? What's your bare moment? Maybe you've hit rock bottom and it's time to chugga, 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 come on back strong. If you haven't, maybe crystallize a moment that kind of pushed you. Maybe somebody said something to it. Maybe really intensify that moment and define it as, you know what? I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to change my life because you said I can't. I'm going to do it anyway. What is your bare moment? It's very important to have that. And then another one, if you don't have stakes in the game, if there aren't any consequences, I'll tell you, it's going to be easy to quit. So, what are the consequences, right, if I quit? What are those consequences? What's going to happen? Nothing? I mean, if I just quit, do I just look around and say, well, all right, let's move on to the next thing. Man, I didn't hit my 125%. Well, all right. You better make up some consequences. Real, strong consequences that if you don't succeed, if you quit, if you fall off, if you fail, all of a sudden something's going to happen. You're going to chop your leg off because you didn't hit, whatever it is, you need to find those consequences right away. You need to know those. I think of a shoe salesman. A shoe salesman can do something very, very easy. In sales, it's all about finding the pain, right? We find the position, where are they currently, what do they want to do in the future, which is our priorities, and then our pain, right? Well, if I have a pebble in my shoe and I walk into a shoe store and the guy finds out, uh-oh, I've got the pebble in my shoe. Well, he's going to ask me about the pebble. How's that pebble? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Oh, you have a blister? Boy, man, that must hurt. Tell me more about that blister. Man, I've got this blister that's crushing, it's killing me. Okay, I see you're limping. If you continue with that pebble in your shoe, what's going to happen? If you don't get that out of there, I mean, are you going to continuously walk and walk and walk in shoes that allow pebbles into your shoes? I'll tell you right now, I'm a shoe salesman, and the shoes that I'm going to provide for you will not allow pebbles ever again. It's identifying what that pebble is so crystal clear in your mind so that every time you're about to quit, you think of that pebble, you start to limp, you're like, no, thank you. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep going. And that's what it's all about. And the last question here, it's so fun. What does success? I had a manager that said, what does good look like? I love that question. When you're thinking about anything that has to do with success or training, or I want to be the best, or what is a top performer, I need to identify what good looks like. When I first start a position, a job, or anything, the trainer, the person that's in front, is usually going to teach you what good looks like. If I don't have a mentor and I'm trying to build a business and I've never done it in my life, I need to find out what good looks like. Well, what does success look like in your mind? I remember reading one of my favorite books of all time, Charles Duhigg. He wrote a book called The Power of Habit. The Power of Habit. It's a fantastic one. And he talks about habits are in 3 stages. There are 3 stages to a habit: a cue, a routine, and a reward. Cue, routine, reward. So my 5:30, you know I run every morning, 5:30. 5:30 is the cue. Boom, the alarm goes off. I've got 8 minutes to get out of the house. That's kind of my cue, 5:30, boom. My routine is, I have 8 minutes, and then I go on my run, and here it is, the reward. The reward for me is when I hit my driveway, I unzip my coat, I've got the fresh air coming in, and I can just walk around the neighborhood one time, and it's just a feeling of exhilarance and exhilaration, just saying, wow, I achieved it again. Success. What does success look like? That's exactly what it looks like for me. It's a moment where, wow, I'm standing on the rooftop. I have made it. And nothing's going to hold me back from becoming who I'm meant to be. What does success look like to you? Is it when I get a check, it's not a 3 in front, it's a 5, and that 5 looks a lot better than the 3? I don't know about you, but when I write a 5 in front of a check, that's a lot better than a 3. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what that is, go ahead and ask yourself these 5 questions to recap. To recap, here we go. All right, let me just show you. Yes, here we go. To recap. So, number 1 is, what's going to drive me forward? Woo! Get your pen out. Here we go. What's going to drive me forward? All those barriers. It's going to push me forward. Why am I going in this direction? Why? Oh, why? Why, oh, why? All right. Moments. What are my bare moments? Hey, what are there? If I only have 1, that's enough. That's okay. And then my pain. What's that pebble? I'm going to draw a little pebble. Ouch! What's the pain that's going on that's causing me to say no? I don't want to face the pain. I want to face the success. Yes. That's my final one. Success is that final one. If you answer all these questions, I tell you, you'll be on your way to the driving force which will push you past any barrier, anything that's in your way. You're going to get through it with these 5 questions. It's as simple as that. So, remember, stop living life as a bunny. Wake up and be the bear. Have the courage that you can do it. The confidence that you can. Yes. And the conviction to know that no matter what, you're going to be okay. We'll see you next week. This is Motivational Monday. Dwight Braswell, Bunny to Bear.